Thank you for tuning in. This is BSN with Y Eagle Y. We have DuhZeez again on this episode. So, we have a few more things to cover and talk about, and hope y'all enjoy. And leave in the comments if you need us to talk about anything different.
And as always, the music in the background is royalty free. Royalty free music.
That's correct.
Brought to you by Spotify, not sponsored.
Definitely not sponsored. You'll be able to tell. Nah, but
I'd be in a tux.
yeah, right. I could be in a tux. I'd do it for y'all. Put a tux on.
Yeah, one time.
Yeah, you can see it once. So, I know you wanted to talk about a couple things, and we actually pulled up it's building hit by a 9/11 style drone attack in Russia. So, you wanted to talk a little about that?
Yeah. You weren't familiar with it as I was. I saw the news break on X, formerly known as the artist formerly known as Twitter. And it was eerily similar of what happened. You can see by the picture. Of course, the picture's not up for you, but I'm sure you can look it up.
And later down the road, we can, get to where we can put those videos and pictures up for y'all.
As soon as we stop boomering everything up, we'll.
Yeah, we get everything straightened out. We'll definitely show y'all what we see. Not everything, but some things.
We get more accustomed to doing this type of thing. As you get more accustomed to being on camera too, you get more comfortable with something. Anyway, it a lot of people were correlating it with this attack with what happened on 9/11, and it is eerily similar. What do you think just by looking at that picture?
It's almost identical based off the pictures and the angles that they took captured that photo.
If there was another building of equal size and height right next to it, you'd be like, oh, looks just like 9/11, right? It's eerily similar. But the difference being that this was an actual, like a drone filled with explosives versus a jet with jet fuel. So a lot of people are correlating it to 9/11 and like, oh, why didn't the building go down? And like, of course, I'm sure buildings in Russia are built different, but it's still it's bringing up questions among the populace. They're like, hey, hold on a second.
Yeah, this looks identical to something I seen back in the day. Yeah, it's we'll never know the true story about things that actually happened.
Yeah.
I think we're still waiting to hear back what happened to Kennedy. Exactly what happened.
I think that was one of the things that I know that Trump wanted to release those files, but high officials in the FBI wouldn't let it when he was in his previous presidency.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering now, since it's his second and he can't run again, is he going to say, you know what? It's my last time.
Well,
I'm releasing all this.
Being that he is capable, why not release it? FBI hasn't been doing their job anyway.
And
so
the FBI's lost the trust of the people already. So if they
were
behind it.
A lot of these 3-letter organizations have lost the trust of people.
Yes. And so if any of them were behind it, people are not going to be like, oh no. They're going to be like, we already knew. We knew.
What do they say? I wouldn't say conspiracy theorist, but everybody thought that. What I'm thinking about? Why?
The difference between conspiracy and truth is a few months or something, something like that. The difference between conspiracy.
Yeah, so we'll find out. I'm sure. Hopefully, Trump will, release some of that information hopefully get this country back right. You know, I'm rooting for them. So, and hey, what do you think about the border? You know, the administration that is currently in office auctioning these materials used for the wall for like pennies on the dollar. I mean, you know, man, I even looked it up. I mean, they had tons of steel, you know, and it's $5 on the starting bid. I'm like, wow.
I'm just sad I missed out on the sale. It wasn't on Amazon, so I didn't get the notice.
Yeah, I didn't see it until it came out.
I could have built me a nice wall around my property. Nice. I don't know what the motive behind it. Like, we can speculate the motive. Obviously, you know, maybe they're trying to recoup some of that campaign money, you know, that they spent.
That was a godly amount of useless purchasing.
Yeah, it could be a middle finger to the incoming. I mean, because there's so much animosity between both sides right now. And I'm not political. I really ultimately don't care who's in that office as president, because I don't answer to him.
Yeah, most times
I answer to somebody higher, so it doesn't matter.
If you hear something political, it's because I'm asking the questions.
Yeah, I don't. I don't care. I don't care who's in that office, because I don't answer to them. I answer to somebody higher than them, so it doesn't matter. That's how I feel. And I know a lot of people do not like that. They don't like a person who doesn't, you know, stick to one side or the other. But I view it this way: would you prefer to get your facts or your information from somebody who has a bias or an opinion one way or the other, or would you prefer to get your facts from somebody who's more centered and tries to view it from both sides? You know, to me personally, I would prefer somebody who's centered. I'll use an example like Tim Pool. You know, for years, Tim Pool was called a fence sitter, milk toast, this and that, by one side, and the other side called him far right or right wing or whatever. But he's more a centrist, just the middle of the road, just wants facts, right? For the most part. Now, everyone has their biases. But I would prefer someone like that to disseminate facts to me than someone who has an agenda or a bias. So that's how I view it as well. If all else, when I say something, I would like it to be truthful more than a bias or a, you know, something that is motivated other than truth.
Well, on that topic of the wall, I read an article today that a legal migrant allegedly set a train passenger on fire and watched her burn to death. This is an illegal migrant. All right, there you can go out in your town, your city, whatever you call it, and you see new people that you've never seen before. They're moving in, they're taking over, they're tearing up your like they're littering. They come from a country that, you know, they're not used to disposing it properly. You know, I mean, you see trash everywhere now. You know, but when I seen this, dude walked on a train and set this woman on fire and sat there and watched her burn. This is what you have this coming across that border, you know.
Now, I had heard about this story. I didn't hear that he was an illegal immigrant. So I heard about it early, so I don't know if it was verified or not that he was an illegal immigrant.
Yeah, this was from today's article.
I saw this, I think last night, because it happened yesterday, I believe.
I'd have to pull that article back up. But
don't quote me on that. But I did see about him watching someone burn. But I did, at the time, I didn't see, or maybe I just missed, that it was an illegal immigrant that did it. But ultimately, in this instance, crime is crime, right? If you punish crime, it doesn't matter if it's an illegal person doing it or a legal person doing it. The difference is that the illegal person has a double crime because they're illegal. They've already committed a crime. But as well, we already know. You remember that they said that I believe it was Venezuela. Don't quote me on that. That released like 10,000 of their inmates to us. I wonder if maybe he was one of them.
Well, that's another thing that I read in an article is that our state, like I had to go in because I wanted to see what states are affected by this, but the Venezuela gang members that I know all of you have heard of, read, because it's everywhere about them taking over apartment complexes in Colorado, stuff like that. But when I seen Louisiana, Louisiana is one of the states that these guys are moving into now. You know, they're starting to see this. Texas.
Well, they're the lowest states. And of
Yeah.
course, they're going to propagate from where they're originating was, which is the Mexican border.
Wow. I'm
That's
just
why
saying.
I proposed this from the beginning. That if they voted for me as president, I know it's too late now. If they voted for me as president, I would immediately, upon my swearing in, declare war on Mexico
And why would you do that?
because they've already
Allowed this?
well, that it's illegal invasion.
Hmm?
It's a legal invasion of a neighboring country. Those people are not by law, they're not allowed to be here. They are invading. They're coming in illegal. And are they bringing weapons with them? Probably so. And we know they're bringing drugs. And it doesn't matter if they bring weapons or not. When you have as many as have crossed in the millions, that is an invasion force.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they didn't bring weapons across, can they get weapons here?
Well, some of the video footage I've seen for the Colorado, they had AK-47s, right? Look, I'm an Army veteran. I know what I'm looking at when I see a video. You know what I'm saying? And these guys have AK-47s. I mean, they're not going to go on the streets and buy these things because, you know, to have a fully automatic weapon, they have to jump through hoops or they buy it illegally.
Or an FBI agent gives it to them. You know?
Speculation.
Yeah, that's a conspiracy.
Yeah, conspiracy. Put on that tin hat. No, but anyway, you know, you never know what's true, you know.
Yeah. I mean, even that, even seeing pictures like that, you never know if that's a setup or a psyop. You know that
There's a lot of psyop out
Yeah.
there.
with AI, this is this crazy and scary thing about AI is that it's getting so good that you can't believe your eyes anymore. There used to be a saying, believe nothing you hear and only half of what you see, right? Now you can't even believe what you see because of AI and its leaps. That is scary because somebody can say, "Oh, this is proof right here. I have a picture of it."
Digitally cropped by an AI system.
Yeah, and it's done so perfectly that even other AIs have a hard time distinguishing whether it's real or not.
Somebody needs to hook me up with a good AI. Look at this. Fix this face here. You know?
I can fix it.
Yeah. No, I ain't letting them fix it.
You didn't let me finish my border policy though. If I get elected, not only will I declare war on Mexico immediately, I will also take over Panama. Reason? Because Panama is the smallest point at which these people can cross. So if you took over Panama, it'd be a fraction of the size of a border that you would need to protect from them coming across the end. Also, Panama let all of them through anyway, so they're complicit in the invasion. And if the UN has anything to say about it, I'll say, do we not have this many million that have come across the border illegally? Yes or no? Oh, yes, you do. Okay, that's an invasion. Period. Stamp it, send it on down the line, right? So let's get Panama, make it the United States of Panama, um, and that hell, we paid for the canal anyway. That Panama Canal is ours, basically. Anyway. Our people die. Not our, but you.
We tend to spend a lot of money, pay for a lot of things, and give it back. So, now I may be asking the wrong question here because he doesn't deal with TikTok. But what do you think about the TikTok ban? One day, and this is in the article, you can look it up and find it. One day before Trump takes office, they are trying to ban TikTok. So, and also there's an article you could find that Trump talks about, you know, a lot of people make a living using TikTok. Also during his campaign, there were billions of views. Okay, so you have you have a I want to say a app that us as people can get our information out today, this second, immediately, and I feel that the government doesn't like that we can send raw footage like at an instant, you know. But what do you think about the ban the one day before President Trump gets inaugurated or become president? Sorry.
Um, I think it's because they knew how powerful TikTok was, and they thought they could use it to swing the election. That's why they waited until. They know how powerful a tool social media is. That's why they were so against Elon buying X. But they're not against one person owning Facebook or one person owning Instagram or whatever, any other social media. And you got to question that. Well, why aren't they mad that Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook? You know, but they're mad at Elon because he owns X, right? So to me, the reason would be because they knew or they were going to use it to try and sway the populace. What they didn't count on was that TikTok is filled with bots.
Yes, they are.
And bots don't vote.
And also, a lot of us already know when you see a bot in there, y'all know what to do in the comment sections.
Hmm.
So I'll fill him in later. I'm not gonna spoil it so they can figure it out. But um, yeah, TikTok. I've noticed a lot of people make a living, and it's awesome. You know, I like the fact that I get raw news footage. Right, news medias can BS us all day, but I can see a live video of what actually happens from the person that's there, you know, versus whatever story that they use and butter up and whatever. Okay, I like the live raw footage.
That's
You know,
why I like X too. They do have a lot of good reporters, actual reporters, not people that just sit at a desk and say, "Hey, I don't like this person. You should not like them as well." And
Yeah.
these are the reasons why, even though they're not real reasons and they're total BS lies. This is the reason you shouldn't like this. I'm not talking about a specific person, but you know that that's what they do.
I can tell you what, that was a good move, Elon. I know you spent a lot of money on purchasing that app, but everybody likes a freedom of speech. Also, I think, like I've watched and followed everything that he's done, even before Starlink came out. And no, I'm not sponsored by Starlink or anything from Elon, but that is a smart dude,
Yeah.
you know. So, uh,
If
yeah,
you would sponsor me, I would tell him how the universe works, how gravity and all that works. You know, I'd make it worth your time, Elon. Come see me, bro. I'll tell you how gravity works. Believe me, I'll blow your mind, even though you're a genius. I guarantee you. Um, yeah, I'm go. You know, I was thinking about this earlier about how many companies, right, or even people who are over companies like Elon, right? How many companies do you think out there are altruistic, right? Who are actually trying to do good, right? Good for everyone. How many companies do you think they're actually out there that are altruistic, that will uh, that are there to help us as people, not just financially, but in other ways? I bring that up to say that social media, right? Look at the way social media has been used. Has it been used for good for the most part? Let's say prior to Elon owning X.
I would say before Elon, probably not. It probably wasn't used the best. Also, it was like it was one-sided as well. It's not a non-biased platform. Before Elon got it, it was one side had it, and they didn't like when certain people said something, so they would block you. Or if they didn't like you, or if you were a politician they didn't like, they would block you, kick you, ban you. You know, and I believe everybody has a freedom of speech. They can say, you know, what's on their mind, what's their opinion. You know, try not to be disrespectful to other people. Treat them the way you want to be treated. And, you know, I just believe everybody should be able to say what they need to say. Yeah.
Imagine if, for a second, there was only one TV station, right? And the president was going to give an address. Don't care what president it is, Bush, Clinton, whoever. It doesn't matter what president. Trump, doesn't matter. And that TV station just basically said, no. Right? No. We're not going to allow you to. That's basically what social media did to Trump. Remember that? They just basically banned the sitting president from social media. That is insane. I don't care if it was Trump.
Had to say.
Yeah, I don't care. Like I said, I'm not political. I don't care if it's Biden. I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Joe next door. That is wrong. You know, unless somebody breaks the law, there are laws regarding speech still. There are things you cannot say. I understand that. You can't call to violence and things like that. He didn't break those laws. They tried to bend his words to fit that.
Fit their agenda.
Well, their agenda, but bend his words to fit the law's meaning of, you know, harm, right?
Yeah.
Which they've never done to any other president. And they've never banned any other president in any way, shape, or form like they did.
Yeah, I think they showed themselves like it was very rough to watch.
But that's inexcusable. And I don't care if you are left. I don't care if you're right. I don't care where you say you are or who you are. You cannot excuse that behavior from a social media company. And that is what cued me in. And me, I'm not even political. Like, I don't care who sits in that seat. I was shadow banned off of Twitter. And I could tell because suddenly everything, all my likes and everything went down, which I don't care about likes and everything, but still the point is that all I was doing was disseminating facts and truth. And that was wrong. That should never be wrong. It should never be wrong to disseminate facts and truth. And yet other people on the site could say whatever they wanted, even calling to acts of violence. There are proofs that prior to Elon owning, there were calls to acts of violence on Twitter, and they were left up. So you can't, beyond a shadow of a doubt, there was problems. And those problems still continue in Facebook. And the only reason that Facebook has kind of released their grip is because of Twitter. Because if they didn't, they would lose all their people to Twitter.
You know something else is think back, people. Think back, say 10 years ago, and we didn't have this separation that we have today. You know, I'm just going to put it out there. Like, say some people, when they, you know, say if you're not married or you're not dating, literally, I've heard people talk about this. They go on these dating websites, and if you're not a this, and this, or liberal, or right, or this, oh man, I ain't got nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? 10 years ago, people looked at personality, looked at how the person was treated you. You know, now it's like they got us. They have separated us. You know, that, what, I don't want to, you know, what is it, the art of war, where one of the steps is to, you know, separate.
Yeah, Sun Tzu.
Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Divide and conquer, man.
And that's what it's for. Well, there's two things for division. You divide to conquer, but you can also divide to distract.
That's a lot of that going on. That's just like if you see a big news media like something big pops off in the media, and oh my God, this story. But then behind our backs, oh, this all of a sudden this bill got passed, and oh
That's
man,
how
I ain't
they do
even
it.
hear
It's
about
all
this
it's all
bill, you know.
distraction.
So
And that's what they bet on. That's why if people pay attention, you'll notice that whenever they're trying to push something through that's shady, they always do it on the holidays, or right before the holidays, or in the holidays, when everybody's distracted by Christmas or whatever, holiday you celebrate. That's when they do this shady bill to give them more ability to insider trade or whatever it is. Um, but also that delves into also the omnibus bills, because it's not just one thing that they shadily put. You know what I'm saying? If it was one bill and it was one thing in that bill and they shadily did it right, that would be one thing. These omnibus bills can have hundreds of things in them that they push through.
well, that's just like the recent one. Man, Vivek, I seen some of his videos he put out there, and it was like a extraordinary amount of paperwork that they were trying to pass, and him and his team. There were several others that were mentioned that they went through, and man, they were trying to pass some stuff that didn't need to be passed. And look, at no means this is not a political podcast, not so
Whatsoever.
whatsoever. Sorry. Okay, we just it's called BSing with Y Eagle Y for a reason. We BS about everything, but sometimes political views, they spike some anger in people, and we're just touching on some things and bringing to light, our opinions and some facts. If we'll look them up, we'll research them, and want to make sure it's right.
You're noticing too much is the problem. You got to stop noticing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then they'll start noticing you, and then they're gonna go.
Well,
But everyone can realize how corrupt things are right now, and that's what it leads me back to my point about altruism. You can't think of a company that's altruistic. I can't think of a company that's altruistic who actually makes a product, uses some of their profits to put back into communities, to put back into things to help to help anyone that got them where they are, right? None of them do. No.
yeah.
Multi-billion-dollar companies, none of them do.
I can tell you what, guys. We're from a poor family, but we like to give back to our community as well. We also have, I don't know if any of y'all have ever heard of it. It's called Kindred Vets. You can go to the website. It's kindredvets.com. And what this group does, it is a motorcycle club, and they take care of veterans, especially during the hard times of these. Some people don't have family. They're struggling with PTSD because the government throws us back into society without properly rehabilitating. We don't have that proper, rehabilitation. So what this group does is they help the veterans. They don't want to be the 22. They don't want to be that one soldier that they don't want that soldier to lose their life over struggling with PTSD. They help out, and then they also help out communities, that are struggling as well. So look them up if you get a chance. It's kindredvets.com. You can pull up their website. There's a donation page. You ain't got to donate, but if you do, check them out. And so moving on with the helping our communities is, yes, it's hard to find an actual business that takes care of their communities. It's usually us, the people.
Yeah.
We take care of us and the community.
It seems to be more that the poor people are doing most of the heavy lifting as far as monetarily and everything than anyone who has a lot of money. I mean, just look. I was thinking about this the other day. On cable TV, I don't know if you've watched cable TV recently or not. It's constant commercials for things like,
Pharmaceutical companies.
no, I'm talking about constant, like, charities. Seriously, it's pharmaceutical companies, it's charities, and it's lawyers. Those are the three commercials we get now.
Hmm.
And they're all targeted at poor people. Well, mostly targeted poor people.
See, I have a hard time donating to a lot of the bigger. No, don't look at me wrong, but I have a hard time, donating to a larger company.
Charity, yeah.
And I'm not going to say any names. It's just that I would rather put my money and funds in my local veterans or my local people. You know what I'm saying? Helping the community, sure. I'd rather somewhere I live, and y'all may think I'm wrong for that, but at least I know where I see my money going.
Yeah,
So
uh, that's why, is because you don't know where the money's going if you do to a large charity. But two is, we've already had large charities, and and the person over, it's like, oh, they've been found embezzling money and doing this, and they don't never the money never goes to where it's supposed to go to. We've seen this over and over, and the problem is that it only takes one or two of these large charities, or any charity really, to do things like this, and then all the other charities suffer from it. All because somebody's greedy. All because somebody decided
that one person screwed it up for the rest.
You know what? I need a new boat.
Yeah.
You know, these poor kids dying of cancer, they can wait. I need a new boat. Or I need this, or I need that. It's disgusting behavior, and I don't know the answer for it, other than maybe harsher penalties, maybe more auditing that needs to be done. Not external, internal, whatever. Accountability helps a lot with things like that. But when you have something like a charity, it's doubly bad to me when that happens. Huh? I mean, don't you feel that way? Like, you're stabbed in the gut when you hear about stuff like that.
And that also gives bad vibes to other charities. Say, like, one screwed you over, now you're cautious to donate to any of them. I understand. I mean, you can't go to a gas pump these days without freaking worrying about your card being swiped, your numbers,
Oh,
but,
yeah. But I have a charity of my own, just PayPal.
yeah.
Please. I haven't ate steak in like a month.
So, did you happen to see the fireball in the sky Saturday night?
No, I didn't see it until you showed me it on the phone. I still don't believe it. I think it's AI.
Let me see if I can pull up a photo. I don't know how well y'all be able to see it, but
is it a bottle of Fireball going through the sky? Like, yeah, we getting drunk.
All right, y'all work with me now. It's gonna be a little hard.
Yeah, that's good. They can see that tiny line on your screen. They can see it.
Yeah, it's a rough photo. There's also a video of it. Let me see if I can get the video for you.
I'm sure they can look at them if they need to.
Well, this is coming straight from the source, so you know what I'm saying?
They can probably see the reflection too, though. So be careful with that. I can see the reflection in that. Of your Discord. So
oh yeah.
It's
so. Yeah, well.
I don't see anything incriminating on their search.
Nah, they're just some folks that like to play video games. So yeah. So anyway, the astronomer. Now, if I butcher your name, I'm sorry. People butcher mine all the time. Astronomer Jonathan McDowell. Yeah, he provided evidence that it was likely a decommissioned commercial satellite named, I'll butcher that.
Gaojin?
Caojing 1. 1-02 re-entering atmosphere.
So it's Chinese though.
So,
I wonder if it's made in China.
yeah, probably. Seems like here lately everything falling from the skies from there.
See,
Yeah.
I always wanted to build a rocket like like Elon, NASA, whatever, and send up a nice front loader tractor. And the reason was to take that tractor and clean out all that debris, because you know about the huge debris field around Earth right now.
I've heard some stuff. There's a lot of trash in orbit.
Yeah, so let's get a big tractor, front loader, put it up there, and start, kind of shoveling it together and forcing it down around, Antarctica where nobody's at, or
How about just a large magnet, away from our satellites, that is.
what if the stuff's not magnetic and it's aluminum though?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta think about these. I think about stuff all the time.
I guess if I had the engineering specs, I would be able to determine what I needed. So, but hey, you know what? There's a lot of other engineers that'll get their hands on that before I will.
A big sponge.
Sponge.
Yeah,
So you gonna soak up something out there? No.
well, eventually it's gonna come down one way or another.
Yeah, and hopefully most of it burns in re-entry.
It should.
So,
Orbital decay. The crazy thing is, it depends on the speed of entry. You see, our atmosphere is similar to water. You ever watch those videos where they shoot bullets into water?
mm-hmm.
The faster ones don't go very far. Our atmosphere is actually similar to that. The faster an object tries to enter our atmosphere, the faster it burns up. The more resistance it gets. So it kind of, I guess there's a point at which the size of the object may absorb some of that heat, so it retains a lot of its mass. Like some asteroids are metallic, and being that space is very cold when they enter it, they have a lot of thermal capacity because they're, I don't know how to put it. My brain ain't working too good. Yeah, so that most likely that is a satellite. But it looks like it's pretty dang big. Like, it's pretty big satellite. Maybe one of the old ones.
From the first picture that I showed you guys, is man, it almost looks like there's a large object in that photo.
Yeah.
That was taken, around the Oberlin area, from a friend or acquaintance that I know, that they posted that picture, and I borrowed that picture, guys, so I hope y'all don't mind. But the video actually came from someone I know personally, and that was a little north of Louisiana. So, yeah, that was when I got that picture sent to me last night. I was like, huh, man, or Saturday night. Apologies, Saturday night. I'm getting my days mixed up. So, Saturday night, when I got that video, I was like, man, what the heck is that? I was like, oh, it's like we're watching a movie again. If everybody knows what that one was, let's go drilling. What's that? Get off the. No, we're not gonna go there. But
it looks like it was breaking up though, so it may make it appear larger than it was. I'm sure it would break up.
With all the telescopes we have on this planet, nobody could get us an actual close-up. That's kind of weird, though.
Well, you'd have to be ready.
I mean,
looking like, hey,
look at this thing.
Oh,
I mean, but this thing's been burning from here to here, and
somebody knows.
So many people got videos and pictures of this thing. You telling me you can't throw something up there?
We just need to find out where it landed.
Yeah,
we'll get that.
Yeah,
I'll sell it for scrap. I need the money.
Well, we all need the money.
You know how much titanium may be in that? Titanium is expensive. Plus, I could use it to make armor. That'd be cool. Be like Iron Man. Where'd you get all that titanium? Never you mind. And blast them with my.
All right, so there's also another topic that we're going to touch on, and you know, it's called honey. Uh, DuhZeez will be able to, explain a little more than I, but you can look it up. There's a lot of um, there's a lot of talk about this PayPal honey scandal. It's articles everywhere now. So tell us a little bit about what this honey.
So, so if you don't know, Honey is a browser extension that you could. It's basically an add-on to your browser. What it does is it supposedly finds you the best deals on. Let's say you're shopping for shoes, right, on Amazon. Doesn't matter the site. What Honey does is it looks for coupons and supposedly gets you the best coupon if a coupon is available. Unfortunately, that's not all it does. And as you can tell by the mask, I am very paranoid. So I never installed it myself. It sounded too good to be true, and usually when something is, then it is. So it was free. It's a free browser extension. Anytime you hear the word free, that should also raise red flag.
Nothing's free.
No, and it's being said now, especially concerning this, that if something is free, then you are the product. And so they've been caught so far gathering information, but what the heck app doesn't gather information anymore, because we have no protections about our personal information anymore. So it gathers information. Nothing will be done about that, of course, because they would have to therefore go after Google, and they'd have to go after Apple and all these other companies that gather our information without us wanting them to. So that won't be done. But it also, what it would do is, you had a lot of YouTubers, and there's a lot of YouTubers that do ads for things like this, like Honey or so, I mean, they're trying to make their money. They're trying to make their living. I don't blame them for that. But what it was doing was really crooked, and I don't see how it was legal. There's a lot of people saying that, oh, it was in their terms of service and blah, blah, blah. But terms of service only goes so far. If you can put whatever you want in terms of service, I could put that it's okay that if I take your life, right? It doesn't mean that that's legal there, that's going to hold up in court. So it depends on the law. The law always trumps terms of service in it. And I don't see that what they were doing as being legal, because they were not. They may have had it in their terms of service what they were doing, and the YouTubers or whoever was promoting didn't read that part of it or read it all the way. However, the people who were downloading the browser extension, they were not informed of what it was doing. And what it was doing is, when you go to a site and it show you the coupon, there's multiple things it was doing. This is one of them. When you show you the coupon, let's say you were searching for the same shoes on Amazon, it couldn't pull up a coupon, but you had clicked on an affiliate link on someone's video for those shoes, right?
Yeah.
So the basically what affiliate links do is they tell that company that, hey, this person is promoting your stuff, right? And sometimes they get a commission off of it, but the more they get of that link for that person, then it tells them how much advertising and how well they were at advertising. It's stuff like that. It's a bunch of metrics. Anyway, but what Honey would do is, even if it didn't find a coupon for that item, if it did find it, it would still do this as well. But if it didn't find a coupon, it would come up with a little box that would say, okay. We couldn't find you a coupon, and it had a box that said okay, and it had an X, close that thing up. If you clicked on that box that said okay, it would overwrite the code from the YouTuber or whoever, the commission code, with its own. So it was stealing money from all these YouTubers.
Yeah, that's
for all these years, and no one knew.
Making a killing.
Yeah, no one knew. But PayPal bought Honey for $4 billion.
That's exact numbers.
You can look it up. It says, I'm not saying exact $4 billion. Maybe they did $4 billion and 1 cent, but it was near $4 billion.
Let's look it up. You know when we got to spit out numbers, we have to look it up.
Well, you know, I read it. I know it's true.
Mhm.
So they bought it. PayPal bought it, regardless of the amount. They bought it. And PayPal's not going to buy something that's not making money. Come on. So if this is true, PayPal may be in on the hook for it. And I really do hope that these YouTubers and these people who are promoting it get some kind of,
All right.
payback from it.
So it says PayPal spent $4 billion on Honey Science Corporation, a shopping rewards platform, in 2019. Let's see, this was PayPal's largest acquisition to date. So yeah, it's there. It's there, people. You can search it.
So another thing that Honey was doing as well is Honey had agreements with the businesses, the online businesses, and part of that agreement was that they could adjust the coupon amount. So let's say your business, your online business, you were selling a certain product and you had a 35% off coupon for that product. And if I searched it on my own, I would find that 35% off coupon and be able to apply.
Okay.
What Honey was doing was they would tell you, if you were dealing with them, that you could adjust that level, and Honey would only promote what level you said. So with Honey, people are thinking they're getting the best deal, and I'm trying to buy the same product that has the 35% off coupon. Honey would show 20% or 5% off.
And then what, would they pocket the remainder, or
Well,
that's not put out there yet.
I don't know about that part of it, but I do know that it was saving you money if you used Honey, because you weren't losing 35%, you were only losing 5 or 10 or 15%.
Yeah, but you didn't know because you're using Honey, and they're
Yeah.
telling you, hey,
And they're
20%.
telling you they're giving you the best.
If you would have done the research, you could have got it at 35. Yeah, so there's no telling what what they're doing with the remaining percentage
Yeah, so
of that product.
that is straight up false advertising. I'm sorry. A lot of people say, well, it's not. No, it is. If you're saying you're giving me the best deals, and we take that in plain English at face value, that's false advertising. But false advertisement in the U.S. it sucks. It's very hard to get any legal action on false advertisement. However, just to let you people know, any of you in Japan who were promoting Honey, get your money. Because Japan has very strict false advertising laws. So hopefully they at least see some kickback from Japan. Because Japan doesn't put up with that crap. In Japan, if you show a picture of like a hamburger on a menu and you serve me a hamburger, it doesn't look like that picture, you can get fined for that.
I'll tell you what,
That's how strict it is.
if you're seeing us from Japan, man, you need to hit me up, and we need to plan a trip, because I've never been to Japan and I'd like to go.
I would love to go.
So, hit us up, and we can schedule something. But anyway, yeah, that kind of sucks, to be taken advantage of, saying that you're getting the best deal, and you're getting whatever that's given you, but what happens to the rest when it's actually so many percentage off,
And that leads me back to the altruism, right? So let's say Honey was run by an altruistic company, and they were using these things to actually help them, right? Let's say they were adjusting these values, but they were using the money that they gathered to not just rake it in and buy their next new yacht, but actually helping the community and the people, helping people go through college with scholarships. There's many ways the money can be used to help others. You don't have to just give them money. There's other ways you can save.
I think a lot of corporations within the United States have lost their value. Not all, but I think if we worried about taking care of one another, like say their communities, we would be a lot better off. I'm definitely, I know a lot of y'all are about, hey, let's help out another country, but our country is definitely in need to be restructured and rehabilitated because we're looking at it on the outside, we're definitely not 100%. You know what I'm saying?
You got to put your mask on first before you put the mask of somebody else when your plane is going down. So the U.S. is in the same boat. They need to put their mask on first before they help anyone else.
Yes.
They used to be the world. They're still the ranking world power, but they've gone downhill.
Yeah, I can tell you, I don't feel like number one.
No, it's
So,
but that's what I mean by there's no modern day like Robin Hoods. You know what I'm saying? Like who are robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. But I hear a lot of these talks. Like let's take for instance what happened with Luigi. Luigi was a symptom. He's a symptom of a problem, right? You know what I'm talking about? The guy who shot the CEO.
oh, okay, that was okay. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
who you're talking about.
Okay, Luigi is a symptom.
Maybe explain to them a little more.
If you don't know about Luigi,
Well,
shooting the freaking CEO, then you need to stop
for the
being a
health,
rock.
the health
Okay.
CEO.
It was a CEO of a healthcare corp. Was it?
Yeah, I
Was it Blue
believe.
Cross? I don't remember the
let's-
company. It was a healthcare company, and Luigi Mangione shot the CEO dead. And what people don't realize is he was a symptom. He's a symptom of a broken system because the system is no longer altruistic. It hasn't been.
It was like United
Forever.
Healthcare. United Healthcare.
United. Okay.
So, yeah.
So, I don't like CEOs either. I don't think they actually should get paid what they do. It's ridiculous the amounts they get paid when they do not do very much work. Like, they really don't for what they get paid. Yet you got the guy, lowest on the totem pole. He's paid hardly jack, works his hands to the bone. I could see why people are angry and aggravated at that system at this point in time. You have people who come home, wore out, 80 hours a week trying to make it, and you got these fat cat dudes who do hardly anything, bringing home millions at the same time firing 800 people and 1,200 people from their company and all that. That gets people see that and it affects them. So he is a symptom of a bigger disease.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that in a but he's a symptom of it. And that's what I mean by altruism. A company doesn't have to be 100% altruistic, where they have to give up all their profits or anything like that. No. But even if they were altruistic, and they gave some of their profits, let's say 10%, 5%, 1%, it doesn't matter. Who do you trust to handle those, and distribute them? When you have, it circles back also to the charity thing. You can't trust charities right now, hardly. So who do you trust with that money to get it to where it needs to go and do what needs to be done with? The problem with money is it's linked with power. And as we know, power corrupts. Right? Money can rip families away from each other. You see somebody who's rich and they die and their kids just hate each other because of money. It's a sad thing that society has bred for so many years the thought of more for me. Me.
Yeah.
And it's caused everyone to be greedy. Everyone. And so he's a symptom of that. He's a symptom of our own learning and our we need more for each other. And you got people saying, oh, that's just evolution. It's natural to want more for yourself than everyone else, blah, blah, blah. But we're not, we are conscious beings. We make the choice to be better. And it would be nice if there were systems set up to control this and to teach more altruism. But it takes one or two people to ruin all. One or two bad people who do things with the money, like in charities, and it ruins for every other charity. You get these phone calls all day long from these people, and they're like, "Oh, hey, your account's been hacked and blah, blah, blah. And they're trying to scam you. So when you get a call from your actual account, you're not going to believe it.
Well,
Because you get calls from all the time.
I'm glad you said that too, because just you get these random phone calls throughout the year. Usually
all
getting
day long.
yeah, not these, but usually when it comes election time, and I'm not trying to get political again, but you get these phone calls from your local sheriff's department, fire departments. They're
You don't even know
asking.
if they're legit.
Yeah, I know. So there's so many scammers today that, you're like, no, thank you. And, that might have been legit. Yeah. But you know what? We've lost that trust. So if you do want to donate to your local sheriff's department or your fire departments or anything of your community, just go locally. Go up there yourself,
Yes.
and do the
Hand them the
donation personally. I know like our departments, they need it, communities need help, and people like us, and there's not going to be any change unless we do it ourselves. So, there's a lot of scammers. Y'all keep on the lookout. It's Christmas time. People take advantage of everyone. They try to take, not everyone takes advantage of one another, but there are some people out there that they don't care. They don't care who you are, what you do. They're just out to get people and making a living off us.
It's a sociopathic mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that mentality has been propped up for years. That you are more important than anyone else. Your family's more important than anyone else's family. And I see this from people online. And they're like, they're trying to be, let's say, progressive. And they're trying to fight for other people. But not in any meaningful way whatsoever. And it's just sad that there's so much of this evil in the world, and it's gotten to such a point that they have had to cover it up so much that even just normal people are seeing it now. Like the normal average person is seeing this corruption, and as they dig into it, they're like, oh my God, in what ways are we being screwed over? It's like every single way in the world, you're forced to get healthcare, and the healthcare sucks, and this, and that, and it's just over and over. Have to pay taxes, have to pay insurance, have to pay this, have to pay. Another symptom, another part of the reason that Luigi came about. All these things dragging on people, and it's good to see that some changes may be coming, but and who knows? Are we past the point of no return?
It's bad that it had to come down to that, to actually see even if there's going to be changes. It's bad that it has to come down to that, But so yeah, we're coming to a close with our podcast, and want to thank DuhZeez for coming again. And you may see him again. I mean, he helps out around here a lot. So also,
I talk a lot. So
yes.
Helps with the dead air.
Also, just remember, you want to help your communities, go help out your fire departments, your local sheriff's departments. Also look up for veteran, groups. A lot of veterans need help too. I wouldn't say all of them, but some are going through some hard times, especially through, certain days, holidays. You can go to Kindred Vets, their website. Search them up. You spend $1 or $2, give them some donations. That group helps out specifically veterans, that are struggling, who are having a hard time with PTSD. If you need somebody just to chat with, or talk to with that group, more than welcome. Leave a message. There's a message page on there. They're more than welcome, or they're more than willing to have a conversation with you, So, as that being said, thank you for tuning in to BSing with Why Eagle Why. And until next time,